Hello, guys, and welcome back to the FPL Duo. We're back for the team selection video for Game Week 22. We hope everyone's having a good start to the week. Obviously, it's a Monday stream. We don't normally stream on Mondays, but it is deadline stream tomorrow. As you guys know, it's a Tuesday deadline, so we thought we'd put this video out today and give ourselves enough time with all the midweek games, etc. And yeah, how you doing, Jordan?
Yeah, very good. Thanks. Hopefully everyone's having a nice start of the week as it is Monday. It's a bit different that obviously we are streaming today a team selection on Game Week 22, but all the more reason it's very exciting, I think, for this game week coming up and obviously for the football to return in the Premier League.
Yeah, definitely. So let's quickly recap Game Week 21 very quickly as we have gone through this, and then we'll look ahead to Game Week 22 and talk about our team and our plans going forward. So in goal, I had Areola, who did blank. I had Gabriel, obviously, who done a bit of a madness. I think that's fair to say. It was the goal, assist. He got the bonus 3 as well. It comes away with a 17-pointer. He also should have had 2 goals, but was due to FPL rules, they couldn't add that back on retrospectively, so he just got the 17 points. Pedro Porro, however, did pick up some bonus points there, which was nice. So 6-pointer from him. Palmer was the big one in the midfield that got the goal with the penalty. He also got the bonus point, so he comes away with a 10-pointer. My captaincy pick, as you guys know, didn't really pay off. Quite unlucky because Saka did get the assist in the end, but Saka only got the 6 points, obviously, because he technically blanked in that game. And then Gordon did score a goal, which is again very nice, paid off. I wasn't sure about him playing against City, but yeah, happy to see Gordon get a goal. Then up front, nothing to discuss, all blanks. I'm not going to go into it. There's nothing really to speak about there. Watkins, Solanke, and Alvarez letting the team down, but all in all, 57 points for me this game week, and also it was a red arrow. I don't think it was a massive red arrow, but it was a red arrow. So I'm now 386k, and yeah, 57 game week points for game week 21. So Jordan, same for you. Talk us through your game week 21 as well.
Yeah, I was just going to say you would have had a green arrow if it wasn't for obviously SGPN getting that 8-pointer,
so
but yeah,
it was tight.
Yeah, it was very tight in terms of green and red arrow for you. But obviously, this is my points of view for Game Week 21. So as we know, Areola did blank. He getting the 3 points in this game against Sheffield United 2-2. Back into the defence, it was pretty. I think the defence did well this week. Obviously, SGPN getting his 8-pointer in that draw against Wolves. He got the bonus 2, but also the clean sheet as well, which is pretty nice. This is why I decided to bring SGPN in for the bonus points and the potential for clean sheets now for Brighton. Next, we've got Pedro Porro, who gets his assist in the Man United game. So he got a nice 6-pointer, despite not having a clean sheet in the game. 6 points is pretty good. We spoke about Gabriel going crazy against Crystal Palace, getting the goal, the assist and clean sheet, and the bonus points, which made him finish on a double haul 17. In the midfield, we've got Gross, who did blank in this game. He did play 90 minutes, but no goals were scored against Wolves. Foden, annoyingly, didn't get any returns, even though Man City scored 3, and he ended up with blanking as well. Same as well for Saka. He could have gotten an assist. Due to the circumstances, he only finished on 3 points. Richarlison, he scored one of the goals against Man United, which I'm pretty obviously happy about. Richarlison scoring or not, Man United drawing, of course. But it's nice for him to reward me with 8 points. And finally, my captain pick, which was Palmer, rewarded me very well for Game Week 21, getting the 20-pointer for scoring the only goal against Fulham. And finally, up front, not much to talk about either. Alvarez and Watkins both blanked, so it was a bit of disappointment in terms of forwards, I think, for Game Week 21, especially the popular ones like Alvarez and Watkins. And on the bench, there's only one return, and that's from Branthwaite, who surprisingly got a clean sheet against Aston Villa. But again, Everton were home, and they are pretty formidable at home when it comes to teams playing at the stadium. But apart from that, it was a green arrow. I'm up to obviously 145k, so it's a nice green. Ended up on 73 points for the game week. And for those who don't know, I did activate my wildcard as well. So this was my wildcard team for Game Week 21, which I think for me, it paid off really well, considering how many flags I had before the wildcard. So I'm pretty happy with Game Week 21 moving forward.
Okay, lovely. So let's move on to Game Week 22 and what the situation is there, because there is a few things to discuss, I guess. So this is what my bus team currently looks like. A bit of a mess, obviously, a couple of flags in my team as well. So in goal, I am going to play Areola, who's got Bournemouth at home. I think it's a decent fixture for Areola, and hopefully he can keep a clean sheet. I know Solanke again is doing really well so far this season. Maybe that could jeopardize his clean sheet, but we'll see what happens with Areola. I am playing a back three. Pedro Porro, who's got Brentford at home. I think this is a good fixture for Pedro Porro. Brentford have struggled to keep clean sheets. I think it's a good game, especially being at home. I back Porro, even if he doesn't keep a clean sheet. You know, we know Porro can get assists. We know he can get bonus points as well. So I'm quite happy to see what he does against Brentford. Gabriel, I think Arteta's come out and said he's going to face a late fitness test. So with Gabriel, we're not sure if he's going to start. I hope he does. Obviously, I've not got a plain bench really, so he's going to take a late fitness test, and yeah, we'll hope, you know, as a Gabriel owner, that he does start. Going on to the main man, Trent. He's back. I believe he was on the bench in Liverpool's last match in the FA Cup game against Norwich. So he will definitely start, I believe, against Chelsea. So happy to see Trent back in the team. We know how good he was playing before that injury. He was getting assists. He was getting bonus points as well, clean sheets as well. Liverpool doing really well. So yeah, happy to see what Trent can do against Chelsea. It's at Anfield as well. So I'm hoping it's a good game for Trent and Liverpool. Into the midfield four, Salah's flagged, and Salah's going to be coming out my team in a sec. So I'll discuss what I'm going to do with Mo Salah. Saka's got Nottingham Forest away. I think it's a decent fixture for Arsenal and for Saka. So I think Saka is going to stay for another week, but he is testing my patience a bit, Saka. I don't think I'm going to get rid of him this week. Foden's got Burnley at home. I think it's a good fixture for Foden, and I'm quite looking forward to see what he does, especially if no Haaland's playing. Then I think he becomes a better option without Haaland, if I'm being honest. And then to complete it, I know I've got Parma against Liverpool away. Now, I'm not sure about this fixture for Parma. I expect a tough game for Chelsea. I expect Liverpool to win that, but we know Chelsea do have a decent record against Liverpool in terms of managing to keep Liverpool at 0-0s, and they've got a couple of draws in there, Chelsea, in recent years. But yeah, Palmer could play up front as a false nine, so that leads me to maybe play Palmer. I'm just not confident about that fixture. I don't see Chelsea winning that one. But Palmer is on penalty, so if Chelsea get a penalty and we know what he's capable of, he'll step up and he'll probably slot it. So don't like the fixture, but I'll probably play him anyway because he's a penalty taker and he's on form. Moving up front, I've got Watkins, Solanke, and Alvarez currently. Watkins has Newcastle at home again. I'm not sure. I've got a bit of a benching headache as I'll come on to. So Watkins has Newcastle at home. I think Watkins has done decent so far, but sort of off the ball in the last couple of games. I'm hoping he can bounce back with a goal or two. Solanke's West Ham away. I think again, that's another fixture I could actually bench Solanke for, because as you see on the bench, I've got Gordon first bench, and Aston Villa play such a high line that I would want probably Gordon to start, because you saw Gordon against Man City in that high line. Gordon is rapid and he's going to run through. And when he's got quick wingers and you play a high line like Aston Villa do, I am actually tempted to actually play Gordon and bench someone like Solanke, or dare I say it, even Palmer, because I'm not keen on that fixture. So to complete the bench, I've got Trippier and Taylor who are flagged as well. Obviously, I'm not sure what the situation is there with Trippier and Taylor and how far they are from coming back from injury, but yeah, those two are flagged. So I've got a bit of a headache. I've got 2 free transfers, and then there's 2 ways I can go. So what I'm currently thinking is, this is assuming Haaland's back. We don't know if Haaland's going to be back, so I'm going to be waiting for team news, etc. If Haaland's back, I think Haaland has to come in. So I will do Alvarez to Haaland, and then I'll do Salah to Richarlison. So those would be my 2 moves, guys. So just to confirm, Alvarez and Salah out, and Richarlison and Haaland would be coming in. That will leave me with 0.5 million in the bank as well. And I'd probably captain, if Haaland isn't fit, I'd captain Richarlison, right? And then, because I wouldn't want to captain Alvarez again, I don't think. So Richarlison's only my captain if, because I'm hearing rumors now Haaland isn't going to be fine. I'm hearing, Haaland could miss out game week 22 as well. So if that's the case, what I'd do is I'm even tempted to do Jota. I'm tempted to do Salah to Jota, guys, as well. So I'm a bit this week's been a bit tough because there's so many ways I can go. There's Richarlison I want. There's also Jota I want, and it all depends on Haaland because I can't afford Haaland and Jota. I can only afford Haaland and Richarlison. But if Haaland's not fit, I may be tempted to go with Jota. And I know Jota has a blank in game week 26, which obviously is annoying. But Liverpool are going to have a double potentially in game week 25, which a lot of people are forgetting as well. Liverpool could double in 25. It's not confirmed yet, but that's announced, and I probably would want another Liverpool asset for that double game week 25, maybe even a Darwin, maybe a Jota. So I'm definitely looking at another Liverpool attacker for their potential double in 25. And we know they're going to blank the week after. So we'll have to see and navigate that way. But yeah, so what my team would look like is that's on the screen. If Haaland's back, this is what I would be bringing in. And I'd probably bench. I would probably want to play Gordon, if I'm being honest. So I'd probably be benching Solanke or Watkins. One of them forwards might be benched because I've not been too keen on Watkins in recent weeks anyway, if I'm being totally honest. So I'm just going to look at when Watkins last scored because I forgot. He feels like he hasn't scored in a while. I don't know why, but
yeah, it does feel like it that he hasn't had a return in a while.
He hasn't scored since game week 17. So 4 game weeks in a row, he's had blanks, right? And he had 2 assists in the last 4 games. So Watkins definitely could get benched because, as I said, I know Aston Villa play a high line, and Gordon's pace, as we saw against Man City, he's always a threat because he's running in behind. And Newcastle have looked a bit better as well, in the cup games and stuff. So I'm actually tempted to play Gordon. So yeah, I'm looking at Solanke or Watkins depending on how I feel. Even Palmer, but I think Palmer's a penalty taker. It's at Anfield though, so it's tough. It's a bit of a benching headache, so I'm not sure. But right now, I think I'm going to lean towards playing Gordon.
And also for the long-term plan, this is a question in terms of future planning. But with the blank coming up in blank game week 26, you'll have up to this point you'll have 4 players that will blank. So you got Pedro, Richarlison if you do bring him in, Palmer, and also Trent. What's your long-term plan? Because you would have to at least transfer out one of these 4 unless you want to play the rest on the bench. So have you thought ahead of who you're going to take out?
So with Trippier, I'm hoping Trippier is back soon. If not, I can always do Trippier I'm looking at Walker coming in because Man City are going to double in 25, and that's confirmed. So a Man City defender will probably be coming in, and maybe for Trippier and get money out that spot. So I'll do Trippier Trippier out for Walker. I'm also looking at obviously Jota, who will blank in 26, but he gets a double for 25. So I would want Liverpool doublers, and then I'll have to take if I have to take a -4 at that stage to fix it, I don't mind taking a -4. Obviously, I've got 2 free transfers anyway. So for sure, even in the future, like even game week 25, I'm even looking at Tony now. Because Tony has a double. I know it's not the best double because he's got Man City in one of them, but I'm not ruling Tony out potentially coming into my team. I'm not ruling out Darwin because Darwin's going to have a double in 25, and I've been very impressed with Darwin's recent performances. I don't know if people have been watching Darwin, but again, another couple of nice finishes. I think he got a really nice goal last game. Got a couple against, I think got a couple in the Premier League, didn't he? And then he also got a nice finish against Burnley. So Darwin's actually scored a few goals recently, and I am looking at him for that double. Jota, again, another one I'm looking at. So yeah, I'm definitely going to bring those players in, even though they have blanks, just so I have them for the doubles and deal with them when it comes. But there's certain players on my watch list, the likes of Darwin, Jota, and then for Man City, I've got Walker as well. I'm looking at potentially bringing in. So yeah, that's the plan. I'm not exactly 100% sure because a lot of it depends on Haaland. Because now my plans have changed again. Here's me thinking Haaland's going to be fit, but now as you find out today, it's not looking that likely. So it's always changing, I think, what we're going to do.
Yeah, it's a very interesting time, obviously with injuries and whatnot, but hopefully we have a much clearer mindset come near the deadline of who's starting and who doesn't. But yeah, I do agree with Jota, and obviously Darwin has good assets. In the FA Cup, they look really good. If you've watched the FA Cup, they did score in the last FA Cup game as well, both of them. So yeah, a lot of promising things coming from Liverpool.
Yeah, obviously Jota coming off that 19-pointer as well in the league after getting a couple of goals as well. So he's been one I've been eyeing up for a while, and yeah, it's tempting to go there. Jota, especially with Salah not being there. So yeah, but yeah, let's move on to your team though, Jordan. Obviously, how you're lining up for game week 22. and also
Yeah.
talk us through your transfer plans as well.
Yeah, it's quite weird to see just one flag on my team when I used to be used to having 5 or 6 in the squad. But yeah, this is how my team selection looks for Gameweek 22. So we've got Ariel in goal, who's got Bournemouth at home. Now I do have a choice. I could play Leno, who's got Everton at home, but I'm not too sure whether Leno could keep a clean sheet against Everton. Even though it's a home fixture for Leno, I still think maybe Calvert-Lewin or someone could potentially put one behind the net. So I think I'm going to put the faith in Areola. He's done well, actually, in the past few game weeks in terms of double hauls and keeping clean sheets and saves. So, yeah, I'll put my faith in Bournemouth. Maybe if not a clean sheet, then maybe he can get some save points. Moving on to the defence, I'm quite happy with the defence this week, apart from obviously Gabriel. But SGP Nan's got Luton away. We can't forget how great Luton are at home. It is going to be a struggle to get past that Luton defence, but I think I like the fact that SGP is playing as a wing back as well, obviously for Brighton. Now he's back, and that does provide him with that attacking threat. So if Brighton are able to break through that Luton defence, SGP could have a really good game. Obviously, as he has done since he's returned to Brighton, he hasn't had a blank yet, so it's quite looking a lot of confidence for SGP in that fixture. And now we've got Gabriel, who's got Nottingham Forest away. Now, there is a bit of annoyance from this because Arteta said at the end of the match, the last game that obviously Gabriel played, he said he was taken off with cautionary injury, but it turns out it's not. He turned it down a bit, Arteta, so it's more serious than we first thought it would be. I think he does have an ankle injury, Gabriel, and also for those who are interested, Declan Rice as well has an injury to his hamstring. So I think that's 2 massive blows. So in terms of Gabriel, though, it's going to be a late decision, as Arteta quoted, whether Declan Rice or Gabriel will play for Tuesday's clash with Nottingham Forest. So yeah, I don't know. If you do have Gabriel, I would have a backup defender or midfielder if Gabriel doesn't start in that game, because it is a bit of a doubt for whether he's going to be fit enough for that game. But moving on to the last defender, that is Pedro Porro, who has Brentford at home. And again, I've been pretty happy with Pedro Porro. Even though he hasn't been keeping that many clean sheets, he has been getting those assists here and there, like he did last game week against Man United. So I'm quite happy to play him against Brentford, who have leaked a few goals. Even though Tony's back for Brentford, they're still conceding goals. And yeah, I quite like Spurs. They are attacking team, and they also can let goals in as well. So I don't expect a clean sheet for Spurs, but I can always expect an attacking return for Pedro Porro. Moving on to the midfield 5. So we've got Gross, who's got Luton away. So again, I'm pretty happy with the Brighton assets. I think Gross last game, I know he blanked, but I like the fact that he's nailed. He usually plays 90 minutes for Brighton. And in the absence of Batoma in the Asia Cup as well, he is playing a bit more forward than where he regularly would be in this position. So with that fixture, I think that's an opportunity for maybe Gross to potentially get an attack return. I think it's a much better fixture for him to get something out of that game. Hopefully he does, as he's one of my differentials. Next, we've got Palmer, who's got Liverpool away. And despite this being a really tough fixture, I wouldn't put it past Palmer to score against Liverpool. I do expect Liverpool to actually win the game, but I still think Chelsea could potentially put 1 or maybe 2 against Liverpool. And the way Palmer is playing for Chelsea at the moment, he is probably my most outstanding player I like to watch when I am watching Chelsea games. And he seems to be like a class above everyone else in that team. And since he has joined Chelsea, he's become like a new reformed player for them. But yeah, hopefully he can get something out of that game, even though it's a tough fixture. Next, we've got Saka, who's got Nottingham Forest away. And as we've spoken about him in the transfer tips video, he's going to be a massive talking point on what we do with Saka. Obviously, there is a divided opinion whether you keep him or whether you sell him for someone else in that midfield slot. But he has got Nottingham Forest away. Maybe that's a redemption match to see if he can actually regain his returns to lift up a bit more, because he has been getting the odd return here and there, but not significant hauls that we were sort of expecting like we saw last season with Arsenal. So yeah, it is interesting on Saka on what people do. let us know in the comments, actually, guys, what you plan to do with Saka. Next, we got Richarlison. He's got Brentford at home. So, yeah, he was my part of the wildcard differentials I went for. He's pretty much not a differential anymore. He is above 10% now, but he does have Brentford at home. And again, Richarlison is the main man, as long as Son is obviously in the Asia Cup. So that just gives more reasoning to actually own Richarlison for the time being while Son is in the Asia Cup. And Maddison is also back as well. So maybe that does provide a little bit more support for Richarlison up front, for Maddison coming back fit again, as he did play in the FA Cup match a few days ago. So yeah, he is my captain at the moment, Richarlison. So I'm pretty happy with that decision. And finally, we've got Foden, who's got Burnley at home. So obviously, he did blank in his last fixture, Foden, but I'm quite happy to play him against Burnley at home. I expect Man City to obviously always play that high line, but again, Burnley will pretty much defend most of the game and play on the counter when obviously they have possession. But I do expect more involvement from other players in Man City that don't normally get involved. But again, Foden is normally involved most games. It's just whether he can get a goal or get an assist or any return in fixtures, which I think it was a bit unfortunate last game to not get any returns. But that Burnley home fixture could be a really nice one. And finally, up front, we've got Watkins, who's got Newcastle at home. I think this is a pretty tough fixture because Newcastle at home, it's not the easiest ground to play against. But at the same time, Aston Villa have been pretty good at breaking down defenses, even the tough ones, especially with Man City. But yeah, I don't know with Watkins what we're going to get from that game. It should be a really good game to watch. But yeah, I'm not too sure whether Watkins will get something out of this game or not. It just depends on how Newcastle will operate. It also depends on if Trippier is going to be fit or not for that game, because I think he'll be a massive miss if not. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Watkins can do after the 4 blanks he's had so far. And finally, we've got Alvarez, who's got Burnley at home. So in the case that obviously Haaland is fit for that Burnley home fixture, he could be out, Alvarez, but for now he has got Burnley at home and he is my vice captain for this game. So yeah, I think it's a nice fixture as well for Alvarez to get involved in again in the absence of Haaland if he isn't to play again. So all the more reason to hold on to Alvarez. And just quickly on the bench, we've got Leno, who's got Everton at home, Archer, who's got Crystal Palace away, Branthwaite, who's got Fulham away, and Bell, who's got Brighton at home. So I do have, this is the transfer plans now. So I do have 12.6 million in the bank with 1 free transfer. And I think I'm pretty happy with the team. I won't rule out a transfer though. At the moment, I'm deciding to roll the transfer, but come near the deadline stream tomorrow, whether I hear any news about Gabriel not starting, because I'm hoping to hear early news on that, I might be tempted to do a transfer for Gabriel, or I could be tempted to play Branthwaite instead and roll the transfer. So either way, it's either transferring Gabriel out, but it does depend on how serious his injury actually is to see how long he's out for. But if he's not out for long term, I might just play Branthwaite. But if he is, then I might transfer Gabriel out. It just depends on his condition. But at the moment, I'm going to roll the transfer, I think, until I hear any further news about any player at the moment. So yeah, I think for this week, it will be a roll for me.
Okay, and if Haaland's back and we find out, you're definitely bringing Haaland in, or?
Yeah, if I hear 100% that Haaland's back and he's going to start against Burnley at home, then yeah, he would be my captain pick. But for now, he is set on Richarlison.
Okay, it's interesting you've gone Richarlison captain, because I went Richarlison captain as well. I don't know if you were surprised about that. What do you think of Richarlison as a captaincy this week?
I think it's a good captain pick because he is against Brentford and they haven't kept many clean sheets, Brentford. And obviously, Richarlison is the main man in the absence of Son not being in the team as well. And all the more reason as well, with Maddison back in the team, that does provide more support and attack for Spurs as well. So I do expect, if Maddison is to start in that game, to provide Richarlison with chances and options to score as well. And the way Brentford are at the back, I wouldn't put past it that Richarlison does do well in that fixture, especially a home one as well for Spurs.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of Richarlison at the moment, assuming Haaland's not fit. I definitely prefer Richarlison over a Saka, I think. Even a Palmer.
Yeah.
Foden obviously is a good fixture, but again, it depends on. We know Foden's not on penalties. Richarlison could be on penalties as well because Son's not there. We know Richarlison might. It depends. I know Maddison's there as well, but we'll have to see. But yeah, Richarlison's what I'm leaning towards now. Obviously, that could change, but there are other few players, as I mentioned, that I really like. Obviously, Jota. I keep banging on about Jota. He's one that I'm looking at as well. Haaland's not fit. Very, very tempted with Jota. I'll be honest. Jota and Richarlison for me is close.
Yeah.
I know the fixture's harder as well for Liverpool, but I just think Jota, the guy is absolutely a top finisher, and he's just finishing everything now on the box when he's around the box.
Yeah, I agree. He's been very clinical, Jota. It's been very. I don't think he's really missed a big chance, Jota, yet. So
yeah.
I think that's good to see. I think that's a little bit more upside over Darwin because he does get the chances, Darwin, but sometimes he does miss big chances. But with Jota, it's a little bit more clinical from him. Just one more thing to add to this, obviously, with the captaincy, it is between Alvarez and Richarlison because I do see in the chat that there is talks of obviously Alvarez being a standout captain for that fixture.
I captained him a couple of weeks ago, and I was hiding behind the sofa thinking he's not going to get anything. Luckily, he got something.
Yeah.
I'm not keen on captaining Alvarez personally. I just don't think he's a reliable option. Man City could win 4-0 and he may not get anything. I feel like that's the sort of player he sort of is this year. Last season, I was a lot more impressed with him. I've not been as impressed with him this season, personally.
Yeah. I mean, last game, it just shows Man City scored 3, but Alvarez wasn't a part of any of the action, as well as Foden as well, which, again, you never know with a Man City who's going to score in return each game week because it's not always the same players. Because we only really see Haaland do that mostly every week, get returns, but any other Man City players sort of shared between each other each game week.
Comments. Well, let's take a few comments, guys. I just want to add, if you are watching the content, you are enjoying the content, all we ask for, guys, is a like. So hit that like button. Also subscribe if you're new around here. Alex says Haaland for me is 100% not worth bringing in this week. No chance he starts. Yeah, if he doesn't start and he's looking like he's not going to start, definitely don't bring Haaland in, guys. Brantwaite or Bell to Trent. Says Alex for your team, Jordan.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
And Alex also says, Haas, I wouldn't be looking to get Richarlison this week. Surely blanks in 26. I think Eze or Odegaard are a better option in the long run. I'm not 100% sure on Richarlison. Yeah, I am tight between Jota and Richarlison, but Jota blanks in 26 anyway. So either player I bring in is going to have a blank. So I just think I don't want Odegaard because I don't want to have double Arsenal attack. I've already got Saka. I think having Odegaard and Saka is way too overkill for Arsenal, in my opinion. And then with Eze, I think Palace don't score many goals. Palace are a team, if they win a game of football, it'll probably be 1-0 or 2-1. They're not going to really score 3 or 4 goals in a match. So for me, I just don't like Eze and Elise as picks. I know that might be controversial, but I just think their upside, saying that then they do sometimes get penalties, etc. But I'm not keen on Crystal Palace attacking players when you've got Liverpool, you've got Man City, you've got Tottenham, these top teams, and we can get their players for cheap. Like Palmer takes penalties at Chelsea, he's at 5.6 million. You've got Jota, who's absolutely killing it, and he's 7.9 million. So there are cheap attackers there. I just think bringing in a Crystal Palace attacker doesn't appeal to me personally. But yeah. Charnel, should I bring KDB in or Foden for Son? I mean, I am tempted by KDB. I think KDB is an exciting option to have in your team. What do you think of KDB, Jordan, as an option?
Oh yeah, I'd love to have KDB in my team as a nice fixture. Burnley at home. I mean, who wouldn't want Kevin De Bruyne? He's had literally a lot of transfers in this game week. I think 1.2 million transfers for Kevin De Bruyne, and that was him only playing literally about 20 minutes of football. And that 20 minutes of football was just showing how much KDB is valuable for Man City. And yeah, I think out of that pick, it would definitely be KDB for me. Just that 20 minutes of his pure, it was a simplistic but so good at the same time, KDB.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think if you can bring KDB in, he could definitely pay off. I know he's had a lot of transfers in anyway, but it would be an exciting option, I think, especially when he's got Burnley at home. He's also going to have a double coming up as well. Yeah. That is tempting.
Yeah, it sets you up nicely for the double.
Yep. I think we are going to wrap it up here, guys, as well. Just under half an hour. And yeah, that is it from us. If you have enjoyed the team selection video, hit that like button, guys. Always appreciate all your likes. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We are back again tomorrow. Jordan will be back because obviously I will be at work. Due to work commitments, I will not be able to do the deadline stream, unfortunately. So Jordan will be streaming at 5 o'clock tomorrow. It's a 6 o'clock deadline, guys. So don't forget. So Jordan will be there 5 to 6 to talk through his transfer plans, any last minute decisions he has as well. So yeah, that's it from us. Anything else you'd like to add, Jordan?
Apologies. Yeah, that's pretty much it from me. Obviously, thank you guys for watching the stream. Hopefully you have a better idea on your transfer plans for tomorrow. But yeah, don't forget 6 o'clock for the deadline stream. But until then, take care and enjoy the rest of your evening or morning.